Hi Pisces, today I'm just going to do a general reading for the weekend, going from Friday, August 30th today all the way till the end of the weekend, Sunday, September 1st, heading into a new month. I'll make sure to also have uploaded kind of a daily general reading, and you can expect a monthly reading for what to expect in the month of September, either by the end of this week or by Monday of next week, September 2nd. Make sure to have that up so you can be prepared for what is ahead of you. This week has been interesting. We've seen you going at like high speed, and then again and again, right? This is how life goes, no matter how much we go forward. The past we may be through with the past, but the past ain't through with us, and certainly we saw that yesterday. But I think it was a great kind of insight of from Spirit, kind of suggesting how to move even faster with all the momentum you've garnered for yourself. So, as always, if you like the content, if this message resonates with you, please like the video and subscribe. It really helps my channel grow. And you can always check out my channel for my kind of specialty one card readings, just kind of what I like to call kind of gratitude and appreciation video for whatever the current moment is in energy, and it's kind of to show appreciation for what kind of infinite possibility each card in tarot can hold, and why each place in tarot can be a very beautiful and wonderful place, with the kind of, I don't want to say the right perspective, with a perspective that holds that level of optimism and trust that, there is satisfaction to be found in today's world. So again, this will be a reading for the weekend. I'm going to ask Spirit to summon 3 cards, and if I feel that I need some more clarification, I will ask Spirit again for any clarification. We'll summon 3 cards. Spirit, I'd love to know, what does Pisces need to know at this time in regards to the weekend, Friday, August 30th to Sunday, September 1st. What does Pisces need to know for the weekend? Shuffle one more time here. I'll break that up into 3. 1. Yep. And reunify. This one feels good. Okay. Cards are stiff and stuck. Let's see what's going on. Energy. Just looking at the way these cards have spread, is very clunky, chunky. So, I'm curious to see if that's a pickup from where we left off yesterday with that tower moment, and if this has to do with kind of clearing up the rubble and the clunkiness of all that. Let's see here. Yeah, underneath this one here, thinking this clunk. Yeah, energy is very what's the word, I think the energy is very reticent is the word. So reticent kind of means like shy, or like not wanting to be seen, like it's very reserved is the word I'm looking for too. Yeah, hiding, really hiding. Okay, interesting. Interesting. I wonder, I'm thinking weekend, right? Go to a party or a social gathering. Reserved. Interesting. Interesting. Okay. That's nice. At the bottom of the deck, we have the Hangman. I put the Hangman right side up. It's funny. I don't read reverses, by the way. So, just for clarification. Alright, so... yeah. I don't think there's any clarification that needs to be done at this time. I see this very clearly. Okay, so again, I want to take note of a few things. So one was the way the energy came out, the way the message came out was very, very slow, arduous, like molasses, and the way that the cards came out felt like kind of sifting through the rubble of this tower moment we saw the other day as being your challenge. I want to start with the present moment. The present moment is really a beautiful thing. You have the Hierophant, one of kind of the early moments in tarot. Kind of Hierophant is kind of seen as stage sort of 5 in tarot. It has to do with kind of self-development, seeking mentorship, seeking kind of divine guidance. So this is your kind of present energy, and I think again like that kind of builds on being reserved, being kind of discerning of who you speak to and who even spirit gives their message to, being very on guard. And again, this could do with that tower moment of like only trusting people that really you trust, and only trusting people who have shown results from their teachings, who have lived the results of their teachings. So you're seeking mentorship at this time, you're seeking divine guidance, and that would really, really explain what the rest of this reading is. So I'm going to go into it. So the Seven of Swords is a great card. Swords oftentimes, have a lot to do with sneakiness and betrayal and whatnot. It's easy to read this as a sneaky card, but it's actually one of the more thoughtful of the swords. So swords, of course, are dealing with thoughts. This person, what they're doing is they're being very strategic. 7 is about being very strategic. So if this is your obstacle, it has to do with maybe you're being a bit too strategic. But there's another way to read this, which is that the obstacle may be that you need to embody this energy. Because what is this person doing at this time? They're thinking about how to fight this war. They're thinking about how best to approach this war. They may not have an army, but what can they do? They can steal the swords of this army before kind of, this looks like it's about dawn. So like stealing in the middle of the night, stealing at dawn, stealing at dawn the swords of this army. Why would you do that? Maybe to just kind of give the message of sometimes the best fight is no fight. So there's two ways I read this. One is maybe you have this obstacle of you think you need to fight for something, and perhaps that goes back to the reading from Thursday with this tower. Perhaps you think you need to fight for something that isn't really worth fighting for at all. It wasn't the real deal, and you holding on to that thing in the past is and wanting to fight it is really you fighting yourself. That's one way I read this. And that also, again, when we look at the polka dots on this person's beautiful cloak, really, I would love to have a piece like this. When we look at the polka dots on this person's cloak, what we're also seeing is this person is trying to take things less seriously. Usually when we see polka dots, it's a message of take things less seriously. And that goes into that other thing of you don't need to fight for something that isn't worth your time. You don't need to fight at all. Sometimes the best fight is no fight at all. And if you take that idea that you need to fight in your own mind, because again, this all has to do with your own thinking. If you can take away that idea, if you can take away your own swords directed at your own head that you need to fight for something and waste your time and waste your energy on that, if you can move away from that thought and take things less seriously and take those thoughts less seriously and remove those swords, remove those thoughts, I think you'll find that this obstacle will quickly vanish. So I think this card really has to do with being strategic with your thoughts, being strategic with your thinking in a way that will better assist you towards a more satisfying time in reality. But again, I think just based on what we've seen, it wouldn't surprise me if on this weekend your likely outcome is spending some time alone, or really, really aspiring for that. Maybe you will be at a social gathering or a party, and you'll just feel a sense of, I don't really want to be with anybody here. I'd rather just be by myself. It feels more alone to be here than it does to be by myself. In fact, that's a great thing to have, is honestly, a lot of people feel lonely when they're alone. You don't have to feel lonely when you're alone. You can feel with yourself, like you can be with yourself. You don't have to be sort of like in socialization all the time in order to have a sense of self-worth. You can find self-worth just by being with yourself. So this is a really it makes sense, because again, thinking about the Hierophant, seeking kind of divine mentorship, and this card, it really feels like, to me, I read it as because again, there's something in your mind that's a fight that's not worth fighting for. You're still trying to get your way out of this, and I think it's gonna pull you towards like being alone and being in solitude. I think it's really pulling you towards that place of needing to be in solitude and taking some time to self-reflect. And really, what I would warn you of again, though, is, you don't want to be in such deep, heady self-reflection that you're trying to think your way out of the problem. You can be strategic with your thoughts to only such a degree. If you are just trying to think your way out of the problem, it's not gonna work. You can't think your way out of a thought. It will just be ongoing. But what you can do is just take that approach of, there's no fight that needs to be fought. And if you can take the approach of, maybe the Hermit is really about, right now I just need time for myself. I need to not just force myself to make an Ace of Cups offering to something, because I'm still dealing with the residuals, this clunkiness of this tower. And think of it as, I'm taking this moment for myself to show myself that I can give myself love, and kind of, I can treat myself right at the very least, at baseline, which I think is a great energy to be in. Then, the other stuff will be kind of icing on the cake. And I think if you take being alone and self-reflecting like that, instead of ruminating on this tower moment, ruminating on a fight that doesn't need to be fought, that will be in your best interest and your best service. So if the Hermit's the likely outcome, just make sure that time spent alone is time spent really kind of treating yourself well, and not doing it out of punishment, not avoiding social gatherings because you feel like you're not worthy of being there, but doing it more so because you feel like this isn't worth, there's something better to be had if I was alone at this time, and alone with my own talents and gifts and my own capacity to kind of be satisfied with myself. If you take that approach, I think that's really strong, solid energy, and if that's the message I'm really picking up from Spirit at this time. So I hope you have a wonderful weekend. I hope you have a good weekend, and I hope all goes well. I hope this helps inform your weekend. You can expect a reading tomorrow as well, kind of going more in depth into the specifics. But that is what I have for you now. I hope all goes well, and I wish you peace, a good weekend, peace. This is Beyond Tarot, wishing you peace and beyond.